We are heading to Edzna, Mexico, to see the ruins of Edzna. Let's start our journey. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. And what a feeling to get off the boat. There's nothing like a Sunday getaway. We are heading northbound to Campeche. We are just north of a small fishing village called Champotón. This drive was amazing. It wouldn't be long before we are in Campeche. Welcome to Campeche, Mexico. The historical center. As required by the Spanish sovereign. The historical center of Campeche was patterned after a chessboard. The main town square and the central park are situated on the square closest to the sea. Ostensibly intended to benefit the people of the community, this square was used primarily by the town's Spanish royalty and political authorities for parties and ceremonies. Campeche's Catedral de la Concepción Inmaculada stands near the main plaza. It was completed in the early 1700s. The government palace is a modern building located just northwest of the plaza. St. Michael's Fort, Fuerte de San Miguel. In the southwest quarter houses an archaeological museum containing artifacts from Edzna and Gina ruins. Campeche's brightly colored homes and narrow streets, filled with colonial architecture, appeal to both locals and visitors. In the neighborhood of San Roman, visitors can see the Black Christ, a 6-foot ebony statue, brought to Mexico from Italy in 1575. San Francisco de Campeche, in Yucatec Maya, is a city in Campeche Municipality. State of Campeche, is located at 19 degrees 85 minutes north, by 90 degrees 53 minutes west, on the shores of Bay of Campeche, Gulf of Mexico, and its municipal seat also serves as the state's capital city. The city population at the 2010 census was 200,389, and the municipality, for which it serves as municipal seat, had a population of 259,005. The city was founded, in 1540, by Spanish conquistadores, as San Francisco de Campeche, atop the pre-existing Maya city of Quinpec. The pre-Columbian city was described as having 3,000 homes and various monuments, of which little trace remains. The city retains many of the old colonials, Spanish city walls, and fortifications which protected the city, was not always successful, from pirates and buccaneers. The state of preservation and quality of its architectures earned it status of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In 1999, originally the Spaniards lived inside the walled city, while the natives lived in the surrounding barrios of San Francisco, Guadalupe and San Roman. These barrios still retain their original churches. The one in Guadalupe is almost 500 years old. Sovereign state of Campeche is one of the 31 states which, with the federal state district, comprise the 32 federal entities of Mexico. During the colonial period, the city was rich and an important port, but declined after Mexico's independence. Campeche was part of the province of Yucatán but split off in the mid-19th century, mostly due to political friction with city of Mérida. Today much of the state's economic comeback is due to the finding of petroleum offshore in the 1970s, which made coastal cities of Campeche and Ciudad del Carmen important economic centers. The state has important Mayan and colonial sites, but they are not as well known or visited as other in the Yucatán. As we deviated right, from the main highway on a one-lane street heading east, it will take us another 45 minutes to 1 hour left to reach the ruins of Edzna. An overview of the farmland, milpas in the Yucatans, is an intercropping system of corn, beans, lima beans and squash, that is managed through salch and burn, with fallow periods and use of mulch. The principal crops are corn, common beans, lima beans, squash, and chili pepper. The basic principles addressed in this farming region is to minimize toxics, conserve resources, manage ecological relationship, diversify and empower people. Present-day Mayan farmers cultivate this intercropping system through the practice of slash and burn together with small plots of vegetables. Crops, milpa system, are produced as well as consumed locally, and constitute the essential staple crops for local regional food consumption needs. The milpa cycle involves 2 years of cultivation, and 8 years fallow, or secondary growth, to allow for natural regeneration of vegetables. As long as this rotation continues, without shortening fallows periods, the system can be sustained indefinitely, creating ecosystems that are favorable for traditional forest management and subsistence hunting. Nevertheless, demographic pressures and rural development policies are promoting the increased use of agrochemicals, and have reduced the agriculture productivity of the system. Comparisons of genetic diversity of crops grown by communities practicing milpas versus those that have modernized agriculture with mechanization, agrochemicals, and improved varieties show that traditional milpa systems conserve genetic diversity resources, while agricultural modernization erodes them. Fallow areas of the milpa are habitat for birds and small mammals, conserving natural biodiversity and creating diverse landscapes. Milpa system provide for the varied needs of entire farming community, including subsistence food crops, forage crops, squash pulp, rural construction materials, fuel wood, flowering plants, and secondary vegetations for apiculture, and animals that may be hunted. Empower people using traditional milpa system conserves local knowledge, enables farmers to control their generic resources and provide for local subsistence food production. Milpa system make minimal use of toxic agrochemicals that are now promoted by government development programs. We have arrived to our final destination. Welcome to Edzna. If you have the time or inclination to visit one archaeological site in northern Campeche, Edzna should be your top pick. It's located about 60 kilometers southeast of Campeche. A major metropolis in its day, Edzna was situated at a crossroad between cities in modern-day Guatemala and the state of Chiapas and Yucatan. This out-of-state influence can be appreciated in its melange of architectural elements. Roof combs and corbelled arches evokes those at Yaxchilan and Palenque. In Chiapas, giant stoned masks resemble the Pete-style architecture of southern Campeche and northern Guatemala. Edzna, massive complexes were built by a highly stratified society that flourished from about 600 BC to the dawn of the colonial era. During that period, the people of Edzna built more than 20 complexes in a melange of architectural styles, installing an ingenious network of water collection and irrigation system. After its demise, in the 15th century, the site remained unknown, until its rediscovery by campesinos in 1906. Edzna means the house of Itzaz, in reference to a predominant governing clan of Chintal Maya origin. Edzna rulers recorded significant events on stone stelae. Around 30 stelae have been discovered, adoring the site's principal temple. A handful are on display, underneath the palapa, just beyond the ticket office. To your left, you'll come upon the Plataforma de los Cuchillos, platform of the knives, a residential complex, highlighted by puuk architectural features. The name is derived from an offering of silica knives that had been found within. Crossing a Sakpi, stone-lined, grass walkway, you arrive at the main attraction, the Plaza Principal, measuring 160 meters long and 100 meters wide. The Plaza Principal is surrounded by temples. On your right is the Nohochona, Big House, a massive, elongated structure topped by 4 long halls, likely used for administrative tasks, such as the collection of tributes and the dispensation of justice. Across the plaza is the Grand Acropolis, a raised platform holding several structures, including Edzna Major Temple, the 31 meters high Edificios de los Cinco Pisos, 5-story building. The current structure is the last of 4 remodels, and was done primarily in the puck style. It rises 5 levels from its base to the roof comb and contains many vaulted rooms. Note the well-preserved glyphs along the base of the central staircase. South of the Plaza Principal is the Temple of the Massacrones, Temple of the Mask, with a pair of reddish stucco masks, underneath a protective palapa, personifying the gods of the rising sun and the setting sun. These extraordinarily well-preserved faces display dental mutilation, crossed-eyed and hue earrings, features associated with the Maya aristocracy. The pyramid, de los Cinco Pisos, was constructed so that on certain dates the setting sun would illuminate the mask of the creator god, Edzna, inside one of the pyramid's room. This happens annually, on May 1st, 2nd and 3rd, the beginning of the planting season, for the Maya then and now. It also occurs on August 7th, 8th and 9th, the days of harvesting and giving thanks. On the pyramid's top levels sits the ruins of the 3 temples, and a ritual steam bath. Edzna was discovered in 1907, the first organized excavation started in 1958. In 1986, coordinating agencies began to employ Guatemalan refugees in the excavation, restoration, and maintenance at Edzna. This project was funded by various international organizations.